Kids Productions.
Welcome in, folks, to another episode of the Final Drive podcast here at the Sour Kids Production Studios. It is Alec, it is Makai, Kenneth is back there working the magic as usual, and Makai took a week off last week. It's a busy NFL season. Even we need our bye weeks here and there, I believe. We need our bye weeks. Obviously, a lot of fun things happened this past couple weeks in the NFL. Well, we'll kind of focus on week 3 in particular. I'll throw it to you first before we get into everything. Just real quick, what were some of your takeaways? What were some of the games that kind of threw you in for a loop?
I think probably the biggest one, obviously, being a Cowboys fan and everything. You know, the Cowboys Cardinals.
The team that everyone thinks is tanking for Caleb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about it. This Gannon guy, man, he really gets those guys riled up, and they come out hot. They come out swinging.
Yeah.
Like, for real, that defense is flying around. Like, it's a lot of no-name, kind of younger, late-round draft picks playing a lot right now. But, like, they're flying around. They're making plays, and they're playing competitive football. I mean, besides the last two halves of those first two games where they played absolutely abysmal, all the other times, they're playing like a pretty competent football team. And that's pretty surprising.
Could be 3-0.
Very much could be 3-0.
Yeah.
But, they're
Cardinals, yeah.
They're tanking because they're the Cardinals.
Yeah,
and they stink. But that's been really, really surprising. Because, again, on paper, that team doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I'll match you with another former Eagle coordinator, and Shane Steichen up there in Indianapolis. Big win on the road against the Colts. I feel like that's one of those signature wins because I think everybody kind of just threw out the Colts as not even being competitive in that game. It was a real gritty game, and I made sure there was that questionable PI call at the end of the game on the Colts defense that did not get called. But, I mean, look, Matt Gay kicked 4 field goals of 50-plus yards, I believe, which hasn't been done in NFL history. Gardner Minshew, who stepped in for the injured Anthony Richardson, played well enough to win that game. And the Colts, despite the question marks of Jonathan Taylor, no running game, they cut Deion Jackson leading up to this week. I think that was the guy we assumed going into week 1 was going to be the starter for this team. But Zach Moss, man, he had a nice wheel route that Gardner dropped it right there. Michael Pittman, through the first 3 weeks of the season, has actually been a very effective wide receiver for that team. And again, like when Anthony was healthy, you saw Steichen utilize him a lot, much like Jalen Hurts, and it worked. Like, it was fun football to watch. And, I mean, the Colts, they probably won't be making any, like, legitimate playoff noise, but they're 2-1 right now. It's a fun team, and I'm kind of liking the energy from both Gannon and Steichen for their respective clubs right now.
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah, they just, like, they're showing that they're still very much alive in that division. And I think,
Because the Jags are... slipping, yeah.
I hate you, Jaguars. You fucked up my prediction for the Texans. Thank you.
And a fullback returned to kickoff, which
a fucking Texas fullback of all people.
Yep.
Either way, no, I think honestly, fight your butts off this year.
Yeah.
Go into free agency, make some moves. Bring back some guys. Have another decent draft, and honestly, the Colts could probably make a run at running that division.
I mean, you could hypothetically, yeah, for sure, at least next year, because I think you're kind of seeing the era of the Titans with the Derrick Henry run is kind of slowly coming to an end, I believe.
Oh, that shit's cooked.
That the Texans are very much rebuilding still. I will say, through 3 games, C.J. Stroud has impressed me so much. And then with the Jaguars, you thought this was the team that was going to run this division, and they've had question marks at the first 3 weeks. I don't know if it's just a lack of not getting guys reps during the preseason or whatever, but this is not the same. This isn't very much the same Jaguar team we saw in the first half last year before they got hot. So we'll see. Obviously, I think one of the bigger talking points that isn't named Taylor Swift. The Miami Dolphins put up 70 points on on the Denver Broncos. I mean, look, I was with DeAndre watching this game, and it seemed like whenever Miami was trying to run out the clock and just kind of be cool, they had a big run.
Yep.
Devon Arcane, Raheem Mostert, 6 touchdowns between the two of them. I told you going into the year, Miami was the 2 seed for me in the AFC, and I think you're seeing that with this team, with this offense, with Tua at the helm when he's healthy. It's a scary offense, and they did this without Jalen Waddle.
That's fair. I got to see you against a team that's healthy, that's competent defensively. I got to see that, and then we'll talk. Like, it's playing. Okay, week 1. Let's break it down. Week 1 against the Chargers, you got Michael Davis, special teams ass, trying to cover Tyreek 1-on-1 man coverage, press man coverage.
Brandon Staley too, coaching.
That's a big oof.
Yeah.
Week 2, who did they play? They played the Patriots. That was just a slugfest game. It was kind of messy.
Division game,
tough. Almost lost that game.
Yeah.
And then this past week, you played the Broncos, and the Broncos stink. Russell Wilson has been good. He's been
That's
good.
true.
But that team,
Sean Payton has come in to do what he said he was going to do. That was to fix Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Everything else, Hackett's fault. Hackett put this team together. Everything else is his fault. But look at me. Russ he's looked good through the first 3 weeks.
yeah, I don't know. You need to put a call on Sean Payton. Play Marvin Mims, man. Every time he's on the field,
He's making plays.
He makes stuff happen. He just doesn't play.
He makes plays, man.
God, he's gonna pick up. I bet he's gonna pick up this week. Traquan Smith. I bet.
When the Saints cut Traquan Smith, I immediately joked about Sean's gonna bring him in, and then yesterday they reported that they're bringing him in for a visit and a physical. So I knew it was gonna. I joked about it, but Sean Payton is running the Saints offense and system in Denver.
Motherfucker's trying to start the damn Denver Saints.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when you start Adam Trotman at tight end, you know you're kind of in for it.
Oh yeah, that's a big GG.
Yeah, that's a big old yikers right there. Really quick, let's talk about this game in particular, the Chargers-Vikings. Obviously, Mike Williams is lost for the season, had a nasty ACL or nasty knee injury, which was pretty much confirmed afterwards as a torn ACL.
Mm-hmm.
Both these teams hadn't won a game going in. Both of them kind of look like they want to give it to the other. The Vikings get aggressive at the end, go for the touchdown when they were in field goal range.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk gets a ball tipped and it's picked off. Let me kind of throw this at you. We'll make this kind of a fun little topic. Say for the Vikings, right? You're hosting the Panthers this week. If you lose and fall to 0-4, do you maybe look at a team like the Jets, who obviously I think with the roster and the expectations and the aspirations, they were looking at competing in the AFC, right?
Yeah.
With 1 year left on Kirk Cousins' deal, would you consider bringing Kirk in if you're the Jets and pulling the trigger on a trade like that?
I think you would want to, because again, like you said, they want to be competitive. I mean,
They got the roster.
they have the roster, and then at this point, you're probably you're fighting for a wild card spot. Because as it stands right now, the Dolphins are going to run away with the division,
And you got Buffalo.
and you got Buffalo right behind them. So you're fighting for a wild card spot. But again, with that defense, and then you bring in a competent quarterback, you can make a run. You fuck around. So the only thing is that they came out today and we're like, we don't have money. The piggy bank is empty. So, and Kirk, they'd have to work out something contractually, where the Vikings,
The void years.
yeah.
Void years or Minnesota has to eat up.
So yeah,
Some of the
a
cap
good
this year.
hefty part of that contract.
Yeah, and I just kind of feel for the Jets fans, because really going into this year, I think you thought with Rodgers and with this roster, you thought, they can make some noise, I think.
Oh yeah.
And then the atmosphere week 1, when the opening night, it was like, wow, this is electric. And then 4 plays in offensively, it's over like that.
Yep.
So bring in Big Kirko maybe.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool just because, again, this Jets team can win that, and if this team doesn't want to implode, they need to do something.
Yeah, because I think the reports came out yesterday that Jets players in particular, guys on the defensive side of the ball, are getting kind of impatient with Robert Saleh's continued public support of Zach Wilson. And I mean, I feel for Zach. I understand, he really didn't have the cards hadn't necessarily been stacked in his favor. And, with the young quarterback, the last thing you want to do is ruin his confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But with this you made this roster to win right now with Aaron Rodgers. And for you to essentially waste a year would be frustrating to a lot of guys.
100%. 100%. Because again, windows in professional sports are this big.
And the NFL, they're smaller.
Yeah, they're even smaller. So
Yeah.
again, you miss it, it's over. Now
Yeah.
you're just 8-9, win a playoff game and lose, and then go home.
Yeah. And I mean, again, I think if I'm the Jets, if you're if you wanted to bring in a veteran like a Colt McCoy type guy who's been in the league a long time, played in a lot of offenses, he can probably get you to 8-9 wins, and then you're maybe fighting for a 7 seed. But I think if you trade for Kirk Cousins, if you make the money work, that's a guy who can get you to 10-11 wins, and then you're in the thick of it in the AFC and competing.
100%.
Or, I mean, if you want to bring in Nick Foles and just have a little fun with that. And I mean, Nick Foles did it once. He can do it again, I bet.
I mean, shit, they just brought in Trevor Siemian off the street, so I think they're content.
I saw Siemian play with the Saints a couple years ago. I'm okay. I saw that. I'm very much okay with that, I think.
No, 100%. You got to feel for Zach Wilson, but again, like he's kind of made the bed that he's sleeping in. So he did this to himself. Like you got to be better prepared. You got to you say all the right things in the press conference, like, oh, I just need to lean on the guys that I have to make plays for me.
Right.
Then do that.
Yep.
Stop doing stupid shit. Like stop throwing into triple coverage. Stop throwing off your back foot. Stop throwing across your body. Stop throwing.
Or just trust your playmakers.
Yeah, like literally, that's all. Like do what you're practice what you're preaching.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're doing stupid stuff, and now you got angry white Italians yelling some blasphemy out of the stands. So, like, you got to do something.
And I think if you're solid too, if you don't want to lose that locker room, you got to figure out eventually what you're going to do with the quarterback, because what's working right now, or what you're doing right now, is not working clearly. And I think by the halfway point, that's kind of when those teams who have lost the majority of the games are kind of out of it at that point. Mm-hmm. You got to figure out what you're doing as a team. So whether it's trade for Cousins, bring in a veteran,
a better veteran,
yeah,
a playable veteran,
yeah, then something has to change if you want to try and turn it around this season.
100%.
So I mean, we'll see what happens. Do you want to talk about the Bears real quick?
Yeah.
They had a rough week last week.
It's been a rough year.
Yeah. We're 3 weeks in, Makai. We're 3 weeks in.
And it's been a rough
4 weeks.
almost month.
So obviously, the Bears, obviously it came out Justin Fields was, throwing like a robot and not happy with the coaching. Apparently that's where he blamed it on. Mm-hmm. Alan Williams, the defensive coordinator, resigned, and that all was kind of mysterious. Nothing that was reported was confirmed. I know people said the FBI raided his house, and nobody actually came out and said that officially, but the statement just seemed very generic, but at the same time kind of like it left you with more questions than answers. Soldier Field got raided.
Yep.
A lot of equipment got stolen. I think
$100,000 stuff got just yanked.
And then you're playing the Chiefs in the America's Game of the Week.
Taylor
Swift is there.
You got cooked.
Taylor Swift is there, and it's just, man, what if you're Chicago? What are you doing here? I mean, because obviously, I think you're a big Fields fan, and I would agree that I think coaching certainly does matter for right now for Justin Fields, and I think that's been a factor. But at the same time, he just has not looked well this year compared to what we saw last season. And they upgraded the offensive line. They brought in DJ Moore. Chase Claypool had a full offseason to kind of get familiar with the team and the system. Mm-hmm. And it just hasn't worked. So I'm just going to throw it to you. What do you think about the Bears right now? Because it's tough.
I just think the biggest thing is that Justin doesn't have a lot of confidence in himself. I think he's not really throwing with decisiveness. I think when he looks into the field, he sees guys that are open, but he's hesitant because he's reading the headlines. I think he's a little too involved on social media, That's a thing with younger guys. I mean, that's part of our generation. Yeah. Like social media is, intertwined in our lives. But when you're an NFL quarterback and you're that guy trying to make the leap like he is, like you really got to just block out the noise. You got to play your game, and he's not doing it right now. He's hesitating.
And I feel like he's trying to, like, when he's in the pocket, I didn't cut you up, but I feel like when he's in the pocket, he's trying to decide, do I run, do I throw, or do I sit back and try? He can't decide. Mm-hmm. Like that instinct that he had last year where he would just take off and run. Mm-hmm. It's not there. I think he's trying to force himself to sit back in the pocket, make the pro reads, and deliver balls in tight windows. Mm-hmm. And that's, like you said, that's not his game.
It's just it's not him. Like he has the arm talent to do that. And I just think that, like, man, I just don't think this coaching staff's right for him. I don't. I would
agree with you there.
Yeah, I don't think I was never big on the signing of Eberflus.
Eberflus, yeah.
Yeah, I can't even pronounce the dude's name. Go somewhere else. Yeah, they need a new coach. They need a new OC. Obviously, a new DC. That DC shit was crazy though.
Yeah, that was wild. How
It
all
was
that.
just one random morning. Hey, I'm gonna go spend time with my family, and then all of a sudden, FBI raids his home. Bears.
The Bears say it was health concerns, but then that was it. Like we haven't heard anything about it since.
They did confirm what it was, though.
They did?
They did.
Was it?
It was the stuff. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Imagine being a Bears fan right now. That's tough.
Yeah, there's not many things I think I'd rather do. I think I'd rather play in traffic than be a Chicago Bear fan right now.
DJ Moore scored a touchdown.
That's fun.
Yeah.
He's still getting misused, and he knows.
Yep, that's true. So I don't know. It's tough, and I just feel like here's the thing. Also with Eberflus, so they're not necessarily tied to Justin Fields. They didn't draft him. So the current regime, we've seen it happen so many times with young quarterbacks. The regime could just trade him for something in the offseason, and maybe he needs to change the scenery. But if you're Chicago, if you're going to be this bad, you have your own pick. Plus, I believe you have Carolina's first this year, right? Because of the trade in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have 2 1s, and if you can be this god awful, I mean, maybe they're the ones really take it for Caleb.
Yeah, I just if I'm the Bears, like, okay, ship out Justin. He needs to change the scenery. We need something different. Okay, cool. If you're going to keep Eberflus and you're going to keep this philosophy they have in the building, I don't even think Caleb Williams can save you. This shit's bad.
I mean, he might just say, hey, I think I'm going to just stay at SC for
He might fuck around and do that.
those are the reports, right? The reports that he's keeping an eye on who's
him and his dad just saying something. They did that shit at Oklahoma. He's fooling. He's coming out. You don't play with house money because all it takes is you break your leg and then you're damaged goods. So no, he's coming out. But I just think Bears fans need to just relax because at the end of the day, something's got to give with this coaching. Something's got to give because Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Drake May, nobody can save you with this coaching staff. The play calling's going on. It's not it. It's not Ryan Pace's fault. He did a fantastic job constructing this roster. It's just that coaching's awful, man.
That's tough.
It's diabolical.
It's tough for sure, I will say. So we'll just see what happens. And then obviously, just real quick, flip it to the Chiefs side of things. I mean, let me just ask you, if you were playing in the NFL, you pick one celebrity who you want to come watch you play football and you just ball out, who would it be? Could be anybody. Dead or alive. What's the one celebrity you would want to come watch you ball out in the NFL?
Denzel, because I want to meet Denzel.
Okay.
What about you?
Tom Hanks. 100% Tom Hanks.
Okay. I like that.
Tom Hanks. Yeah, that'd be the guy. Just to ball out and just go, Tom Hanks is watching me. He's cheering for me.
You get him with your Forrest Gump impression?
Mama always said, laugh. Yeah. Or actually, I want him to run on the field like Woody runs. Like,
that'd be fun.
That's what I would do, actually. No, if I scored a touchdown, I would just yell out Annie's home and then and drop. Yeah, he will get the reference.
He'll get it. Everybody else might look at me weird, and I might be on TikTok a little bit, but hey.
But he would understand. It's all that matters. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah. So, and the Chiefs, Mahomes tweaked his ankle. He's going to be okay, is what they're saying. Derek Carr for the Saints, sprained AC joint. From what I've seen, he's at practice. He's not ruled himself out. So we'll see. But it's very much a pain tolerance week to week thing. And if you look at Derek Carr's injury history in Oakland and Vegas, he's a guy who doesn't really he comes back sooner rather than later most of the time. So. Him or Jameis next week, we'll see.
Yeah. Don't forget, Dak has a sprained brain. So, yeah. And sprained eyes.
Your text in the group chat was just so hilarious.
What did I say? I forget what I said.
You said, I've never seen someone so passionate about throwing balls to linebackers like Dak Prescott.
Okay.
It was I looked at DeAndre and we just started chuckling out laughing when you'd sent that.
It's just like Dak. Okay, let's just say Dak's thrown 50 career interceptions, right? It's more than that because he stinks. But let's just say he's thrown 50.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if I watch the film, he's probably thrown 40 of them 50
to linebackers.
And some of them of this persuasion. So Dak just makes my damn head hurt, man.
I mean, we'll talk about it real quick. Obviously, I think everybody wanted to look at this Cowboy game and kind of think the sky is falling. And I mean, Realistically, I think they were due for this kind of performance, in particular on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, obviously losing Diggs hurt, but your front seven still gave up 180 something yards on the ground at halftime.
Yep.
Against James Conner and Josh Dobbs and who's the Ingram kid?
Yeah. I know his first name because I watched him all the time. Either way.
Yeah. The Cardinals rushed for 182 yards at halftime, and that alone is just not winning football. You're not going to win if you allow that many yards on the ground usually. And when the Cardinals needed to make plays, they got the best of the defense. So, I mean, they were due for a game like this, after, especially considering the first 2 weeks where they were just playing stellar shutout defense. You were due for a game like this ultimately, but defensively, I'm not really hitting the panic button. Dan Quinn's going to get these guys right. They're going to get the cornerback rotation figured out. And as the year progresses, I think Mozzie Smith will get a lot more comfortable and kind of take over as that one technique and kind of help stuff the run. So I think defensively this team is fine where it's at. I'll throw it to you for the offense because I know you have some critiques. But obviously they were down to 3 linemen in that game. It was tough. So you don't seem very sold on that idea.
I mean, no, 100%. Like we couldn't run the ball to save our lives. Tony Pollard. I mean,
stuff.
What's his face?
Rico.
Rico made a hell of a one.
The screen.
That was a hell of a play.
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle needs to play more.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody gave their best, but man, game on the line. We got a chance to, potentially tie it up there.
Gallup had a good game.
Yeah, Gallup.
It was good to see that get from Michael Gallup.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But continue.
But you get down there, man. You get down in the red zone, and I understand people are like, oh, the Cowboys don't really have red zone threats. Yeah, you have CD and Gallup. You get those jump balls too, but our tight ends aren't really, they're not the Jimmy Graham type where you can throw it up to them. They're more run them in the flat, and people kind of forget about them, and they're open.
Yeah,
and it's tough. And again, our offensive line that we want ideally to start has yet to get to play all together. So running the ball in the red zone is kind of tough too for us. So it's a state of flux. I haven't really liked the play calling either. So at the end of the day, man, stop throwing the ball to linebackers, Dak. Stop. I'm tired of it.
Brandon Cooks was running a slant in the end zone, and you just see corner, safety, line. Like in a split second, I could see the window Dak was trying to fit it into. Because he's thinking if he gets the ball out quick enough, it will go right over Kaiser White's head, and he won't turn around fast enough. But that wasn't the case.
It's just bone because it was third down too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At that point, tuck it, run it, maybe get 3 or 4 yards, go down, and then live to fight another down.
Go for it on 4th down.
Just go for it on 4th. But that it's different if you're Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. You have actual arm talent. Dak does not have arm talent. Every time he throws the ball, he looks like a frail grandmother cracking an egg in a damn frying pan. It looks like his shoulder's about to fall off. I don't know. These receivers, in training camp, they're like, man, Dak's arm's strong. Y'all lying. Weak ass arm. Weak ass arm. Noodle. I'm so tired. It's Trey Lance time, man. I'm turning the page on this.
I will say, though, I think this was much needed for the offense in the sense of I think the first 2 weeks you hadn't really been tested offensively yet because obviously you got up big. The defense made sure that both New York teams were pretty much strangle-held.
Yep.
And offensively, you didn't have to do anything besides, run the ball, make a couple short passes, keep the clock running. That's all you had to do. This is a game where you were down on the road against a team that you probably should not have been down to as bad as they were.
Yep.
And offensively, you just had to get it going, and you couldn't. I didn't like. To me, the play calling has been kind of weird because I think with Kellen Moore, it was so open and explosive, and they were Kellen Moore wanted the big highlight reel plays. With McCarthy, I think it's a lot more methodical, and it's West Coast offense. It's taking what the defense gives you. It's a lot of underneath stuff, crossing stuff, get guys open schematically. And they just haven't really. They've done that since Kellen Moore's been there. So it's going to be an adjustment period, obviously. But again, this is the first time the offense needed to come through because they were down. And that gives me a little concern, I would say.
Oh, 100%.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The last game, I'll mention, unless you have any other games, the Bengals-Rams. A not 100% Joe Burrow. It was a gritty win for the Bengals. they couldn't. I don't think they could have gone to 0-3.
That'd have been GG.
Yeah. So
GG
then
all
I
year.
think you talk about resting Burrow on injured reserve.
Trading Higgins.
I think you kind of sit there and go, this is not where we were supposed to be, but Joe Burrow and the bank, they got it done.
Mhm.
It was a great defensive performance by them. So in a rematch of the Super Bowl, they get it done.
I will say, though, congratulations on your first win, but don't hang your hats on beating the damn Rams, who are tanking too. Granted, they don't have draft picks, but they're tanking.
They're not. They're taking for nothing.
Tanking for nothing.
Yeah, but they're just. It's a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, good for you. I mean, Joe Burrow. I mean, I understand being hurt, man. He stinks. He stinks right now.
Yeah, and I mean, and I keep telling myself through these first 3 weeks, it's like, okay, he got hurt during camp, so he didn't practice during camp, didn't play in preseason. So coming out the first couple weeks, that week 1 game in Cleveland, weather was a factor as well. And it's just the timing is just off with Joe Burrow right now. Even with like Jamar Chase, it's just off. It feels like so. Still just gonna bank on the idea of once he gets more playing time again, he'll be back to where he was. But you're right; it has looked sloppy from the Bengals offensively.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the T. Higgins can't catch a damn cold, and he couldn't catch a cold if he was butt
dropped.
naked in an igloo.
And it was funny because the last week he was balling out against the Ravens at 2 touchdowns and was catching everything, and now Monday night he was dropping everything.
He dropped like that curl, and then they said, "Oh, we're taking T. Higgins back to the locker room." Everybody on Twitter like, "What the hell happened? He just dropped the ball."
He just dropped the ball. Okay, real quick, Rakai. Let's look at some standings here. Let me ask you: has anybody surprised or disappointed you so far throughout the season? 3 weeks in, record-wise, who's standing out to you and who's disappointed you?
I mean, it's got to be the Vikings. It's got to be the Vikings. I mean, like we talked about, to start the year when we did our predictions for the seasons, like the Vikings, this really was their opportunity. I mean, you had a lot of unknowns with the Bears. I mean, like they're up and coming, but it was like, they haven't proven anything yet.
Right.
Same thing with the Packers, transitional year with Jordan Love and everything, stepping up with younger weapons, playing more and more. And then, the Lions. I mean, obviously a lot of people were rooting for the Lions, the underdog story of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But like, again, haven't done it.
Right.
So it was like, naturally the Vikings just have to dominate this division again.
They won 13 games a year ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have yet to win a game this year. And like you said, they lose this week to the Panthers, might look to just send it into the dirt and call it a year.
I'm just going to tell Viking. The Viking fans should know this, but when Jetta hits that trade request in the offseason, it's going to hit differently for them.
Oh, that's going to be tough, man.
Because you lost Randy. You lost Diggs. Well, not lost, but you ended up trading those guys away.
Yeah.
And Jetta just falls in line.
Yeah, and then that receiving core that quote unquote was the best in the NFL is now KJ Osborne and Jordan Addison.
Yeah, that's yeah. So I'm gonna go with a disappointing team. We talked about them a little bit earlier. I'll go with the Jaguars. Right, this is a team that obviously invested a lot of money last offseason in guys like Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk. Offensively, they have the talent on defense. Obviously, Doug Peterson did a phenomenal job last year, I thought. Trevor Lawrence took that next step. Looked like he could have been that, maybe the fourth guy behind Burrow, or Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. And they're 1-2, and it's not like a good 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they look sloppy. The Colts had their number that week 1 game, but then they eventually pulled away. Well, the Colts kept them competitive. They played a good game against the Chiefs, but I thought at home, if you held Pat Mahomes under, they scored 20 points?
Yeah.
Or something. Like if your defense does the job, you should be able to do enough offensively to take care of the Chiefs. They didn't. And then this week against Houston, it was just bad football all around.
Giving them big explosive plays, guys wide open.
Yeah, Tank Dell had the big touchdown catch. It was just it just looked not good, and like I said, it looked like the Jaguars team that we saw in the first half of last season, where they were trying to figure everything out with Doug Peterson and with Trevor Lawrence, and through the first 3 weeks, you really haven't seen it yet.
Mm-mm.
So, and this was a team that's supposed to walk away with this AFC South. Like, as complicated as this AFC got, I think everyone pegged, okay, AFC South, it's the Jaguars, only one team's going to come out of this division. It was the Jags.
Not right now.
It is the Colts, I want to say.
Yeah, Colts.
Colts are the division leader.
Yep.
At 2-1, everyone else is 1-2.
Mm.
Any surprises for you then?
Surprises. Honestly, I don't think anything's like really like surprised me too much. I think the season for the most part kind of went to what everybody kind of thought for the most part. But again, like it's still early. Teams are still figuring themselves out. And again, I think the biggest thing is the fact that like, you know, us growing up as kids, we were so used to having, you know, watching 4 preseason games, and then that last game was basically a dress rehearsal for the starters. Like you played a
Right.
half or at least a quarter,
Mm-hmm.
and no, a lot of these starters didn't play at all. They got their snaps in practice, and then on the sideline and street clothes the rest of the time. So I think that's really showing because it's been sloppy. It's been some sloppy football, top to bottom. So ask me that question in another month.
Who's surprising you? Yeah, because I think everybody's still trying to get their feet, you know, on the ground firm and figure out, get comfortable with everything again. Obviously, I guess a surprise for me, I'll tell you, the conferences. The AFC right now has 7 teams that are 2-1 or better.
Mhm.
The NFC has 9 teams right now that are 2-1 or better.
Mhm.
And in the NFC South and the NFC East, they have 6 combined.
Wow.
So I think as it's just as much crap as we'll talk about the NFC kind of being wide open and sucking. I mean, they have more teams currently with the winning record, but like you said, I don't think that's going to count for much right now because it's so early. Everyone's still trying to figure themselves out. But they're the better conference record wise at the moment.
I mean, and I think that number just kind of goes to show. I mean, again, like, you know, the numbers are going to be what they are because again, there has to be a winner, there has to be a loser in every game. Like the numbers will balance out somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think this year is going to be really competitive, and I think, you know, at the end of it, I think the Super Bowl match is going to be something not a lot of people saw coming. To be honest, and I like that. I'm here for that. I don't like the idea of the Chiefs every year. You know,
like like NBA was LeBron and Curry for so many years in the finals.
Exactly, and it was cool. It was cool because again, those are the best of the sport. But you want to see those underdogs in there. You know.
Yeah, we like I mean, the Bengals, when they won a couple of years ago, that was a cool story. Everyone rallied around it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if it's not the Chiefs and then whoever comes in the NFC, that'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
I'm here for it. Okay, real quick, let's move on. Let's do a little Immaculate Grid.
Mm-hmm.
Football style here. So those of you who don't know what Immaculate Grid is, it's a website that refreshes every day. It's a fun little grid. 3 teams or an accolade horizontally and then 3 teams vertically. Kenneth will put the graphic right here. Actually, I don't know if that was actually on
I think it's going to be above us, I think.
Above us. Be here or just here or there. I don't know. He'll put it somewhere on the screen. You can see where we fill it out. And if you have any fun names that you think fit the grid, just comment them and, we'll have fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
So horizontally, we have the Colts, the Bills, and then Hall of Fame. And then vertically, it's the Browns, the Packers, and the Vikings. You can pull it up too on your phone.
Yeah, let me pull this up because my ass is a visual learner.
Yeah. I think it's a fun grid. This will be fun.
Okay. Let's go left to right.
Okay.
Okay. Colts, Browns.
I have a name, but I don't know if it's and the score. And I guess the point is, the lower the number, right?
It's the lower the number, but Immaculate Grid, since you only get 9 guesses on the grid of 9, you want to just get a perfect grid.
Yeah.
So worst come to worst, just fill it in with a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. All right. So I got one for Colts, Browns right off the top of my head. Jacoby. Brissett.
I was thinking Josh Cribbs.
Oh, he was a Colt, wasn't he? Yeah, dude, you do Cribbs. You do Cribbs.
I don't want to fuck the grid up to start the day. Let's just do Jacoby.
Okay, I'll put a Cribbs on mine.
Okay.
For the sake of this episode, though, what was Jacoby at?
34%.
Josh Cribbs to 2%.
Damn.
We'll go with Josh Cribbs. Josh Cribbs will be the first one on the grid here on the screen, as you'll see. Okay. Packers, Colt. Oh, we're going down, right? Or we're going across?
That's whatever you want.
You pick.
Let's keep going right. So Bills, Browns. Shit.
Bills, Browns. That's tough.
Bills, Browns. Ooh, no. First name that came to mind, one of my favorite receivers of all time for the Bills, Stevie Johnson.
Was McGahee a Bill?
He was.
His last.
He was, because he was the starter before Marshawn. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was in Cleveland. His last year. Yeah, Willis McGahee.
Oh, God. I'm so glad the folks at home can't see me spelling McGahee. Oh, Lord. I need you to spell it. I went to the University. We both went to the University of North Texas, but I was a business major. We didn't learn shit. So you're the smartest one in the room here.
That's not saying a whole lot. McGahee.
There we go.
Oh, did you?
No.
Oh, you want me to put it in?
Oh, no, I was letting you put it in.
Oh, okay. What did I say? MCHA? No, I didn't say that. MG. No.
It's MCGAE. HEE.
MC. Yeah, Willis McGahee.
There we go. 3%.
There we go. Okay, see, that's a good one. Okay. A Brown and a Hall of Famer.
Thinking low, though.
Yeah, it can't be like a famous Brown.
Damn.
Doesn't
They don't have so many. That's the thing.
Does Clay Matthews have a? He is.
His brother. Oh, his dad.
But was he with the Browns or was his uncle? I know one of them was.
Yeah, the family.
They all played in the NFL.
I think it was. It might have been his uncle.
Let me just type in Clay. Oh God, there's like 2 Clay Matthews. Okay.
Oh Lord.
Well, obviously the one I know which one is
the
not
one that played
it.
in like the 50s or something, 60s, 70s.
But was he a Hall of Famer? Is the question. I don't think he was.
No. They definitely would have talked about him more on broadcast.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with another Brown.
Damn, you got to think back to when they were wearing just leather caps.
I mean Jim Brown.
That's gonna be 70%.
Yeah, it's gonna be a high answer.
Who was the quarterback? Otto Graham.
Oh, number 60 with the yeah, he had a leather hat on.
Yeah. 9%.
Okay, we like that. Okay, so Cribbs, McGahee, and Otto Graham going across so far. I like it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you do this row.
So Packer and a Colt.
Packer Colt. Jeff Saturday.
Good call. Good eye there. Yeah, he was for that 1 year.
That was very weird.
40%. Okay, 40%.
We'll take it.
Packer Bill.
Packer Bill.
I'm trying to think. Stevie Johnson didn't play for the Packers, did he? No.
Yeah, after he played the Bill, he had the 1 year on the Chargers and he retired.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm thinking like old Favre, young Rodgers. I'm thinking about those rosters.
So like 2000, the 2000s.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe, did Donald Driver?
He was a Packer his whole career, I think.
Who was the other receiver?
Greg Jennings? Or we're talking about before Greg Jennings.
No, I was thinking Greg Jennings.
He was on the Bill. It's tough.
Damn. We want to skip that one and go to the
Let's go to the Packer and a Hall of Famer.
Ooh, okay. They got a bunch in the Hall of Fame. Just got to
Yeah.
think of an obscure name.
Jim Taylor?
My football knowledge is late 90s to now. So that's all.
Oh crap! There's 2 Jim Taylors. I'm just. Hey, it worked. 0.9.
Okay.
0.9%. Well, I only know him because he had a Madden card.
Oh shit.
He had a Madden card a couple of years ago.
Gotta love
Ultimate
Madden.
Team. Yeah, that's. Hey, information is information.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go to the next row and we'll come back to the Packer one?
Yeah, we'll come back. That
right.
that squares me.
You got it.
Colts Vikings. First name that came to mind. Amir Abdullah. Because I know he bounced around a lot.
Was he on the Colts though? I know he was a Viking.
He bounced around so many teams. I just feel like the Colts were one of those teams because it was like the Colts for so long had running back problems.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else fits that. Cold Viking.
Oh, Xavier Rhodes.
Oh yeah. Xavier Rhodes, yep. Yeah, good sure thing. He was both.
48%. Yeah, we live with it.
Okay.
Bills Vikings.
Bills Vikings.
Oh, Micah Hyde.
He was a Packer, not a Viking.
Oh, my bad.
But wasn't was Sendejo, Andrew Sendejo, a Bill?
I forgot.
The safety.
I know what you're talking about. I just went right over my head. I forget. Micah Hyde works for the one above, though. The one that we got stumped on. The Bills and
Oh,
Packers.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, but that didn't.
That's why I was thinking about that.
But that works though.
Yep.
Yeah, that completes the puzzle.
Bills
What was Hyde at?
47%.
Okay. Okay. So Bill.
Didn't Xavier Rhodes go up there? But we can't use him twice.
Oh, he was a Bill, wasn't? I think he was.
Didn't he retire on the Bills at halftime?
No, it was Vontae Davis.
Oh, it's Vontae Davis.
Good thing of Vontae Davis.
My bad. Dang it.
Did Percy Harvin play for the Bills?
He did.
Right, because was it after Seattle?
Mm-hmm. Percy Harvin. 6%.
Hey. Okay, Percy Harvin, love that.
Hall of Famer Viking.
Okay. Hall of Famer and a Viking. So someone like Fran Tarkenton.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. He was Vic before Vic. Fran? Is it Fran or Frank?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. There we go. Fran Tarkleton. 19%.
And what was our score? Okay.
Hey, we got 9 out of 9.
So that's the Immaculate Grid, and like I said, Kenneth will put it up wherever on the screen to make it work. Okay. And speaking of the NBA, Makai, let's dip into the big trade that happened earlier this week. Obviously, Dame Lillard wanted out of Portland, wanted to go to Miami. Miami and Pat Riley said, "Hey, look, this is the best I can do is Tyler Hero and some picks. They ain't gonna cut it."
Mm-hmm.
They get involved in a 3-team trade with the Suns, and it's a bunch of moving pieces. So why don't you catch us up and kind of give us your thoughts on it?
So the Trailblazers get Drew Holiday, they get DeAndre Ayton, and then the Bucks get Dame, and then the Sun. Obviously the Trailblazers get some picks. It don't matter; those picks are in 6 years. There's a kid playing high school right now. That pick's gonna get used. It doesn't matter right now.
Right.
But yeah, there's a first round pick, guaranteed first round pick. There's a couple swaps. Don't really matter. And then the Suns get Yusuf Nurkic as their defensive center, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Nasir Little doing this all the top off of my dome. Keon Johnson, and then a guy that's going to get cut. Don't know his name because he's going to get cut. Does not matter.
Does not matter.
It does not matter. He is filler. But no, I think, like we talked about before the show, we went and got some food and we were just talking about the trade. And I think it's really well balanced, honestly.
Right.
Like, I think every team got what they wanted. I think if you're the Trailblazers, it's like, yeah, you didn't get a lot of like young pieces besides like Ayton out of it. But no, I think if you hold on to Holiday, even if you can't move him before the season starts, you move him at the trade deadline, you're going to get a couple first and then maybe some pick swaps at the end of it and like a young player.
A role player, yeah.
Yeah, like from your team maybe. Pelicans.
Yeah, for sure. I'm all for reunion. And I think if you are Milwaukee, I think in order to, you gave up a lot of depth, but your big three being Giannis, Middleton, if he stays healthy, and Dame, that's a formidable three to have in the Eastern Conference. And really, if you look at Giannis and Dame, that might be the best duo in the Eastern. And maybe you can make a case in all basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Playing off ball or the pick and roll between Dame and Giannis, I think is going to be absolutely bonkers. They can both easily give you 30 plus a night.
Yep.
And do you think it sways Giannis to maybe stay in Milwaukee if they can work this out with Dame and, make some noise?
I think, yeah. I mean, the only thing is if this fails horribly, the Bucks put themselves in a really bad position because Dame is 33 years old. He's been banged up the past 3 seasons. He next year makes like 55 mil, and then the next 2 years after that is making 60 plus mil. So you're putting yourself in a tough spot. And again, this could really handicap you because you just signed Middleton to an extension.
Yep. You
could really tire yourself, and Giannis could leave you high and dry. And now your two guys are a damn near 40-year-old Dame and Chris Middleton.
And you're looking at a lower seeding in the Eastern Conference at best.
Oh, 100%. Because again, small market, they don't have money like that in the first place. So
yeah,
it could get rough out there. But if this does work, you could get another championship out of it and make Giannis a lifetime Buck. So it was
Dame
what-
will
it
get
was
his
what-
ring too.
Yeah, get Dame a ring. Even though we're not running from the grind. Here we are.
Yeah, so I love this move for Milwaukee, and I think again you extend that lifeline a little longer with Giannis and try and get it to work out. People are kind of clowning on the Heat for not upping the offer, but if you're Miami, I don't know what you could have done differently. I mean, the offer, with Hero and some draft picks, that probably was the best you could do, but then B, probably the most you were willing to give up, because you're not trying to give up the King's ransom for Dame and then leave you with Dame and Jimmy Butler, and that's it.
Yeah.
After they lost, Vincent Gabriel in the offseason. They lost. Did they lose anybody else in the offseason? Am I tripping?
They lost, what's his face? Max Strus. Max Strus.
Oh yeah, the center, right?
No,
No.
two guard.
Two guard,
Two
yeah.
guard / 3. He went to the Cleveland Cavaliers on a big contract.
I thought we signed somebody from the Heat.
Did you?
The center, the big dude.
He didn't play anyway. End of the bench. He's one of the guys that do the little TikTok dance, on the sideline. Yeah, fooey.
So yeah, I mean, the Heat couldn't give up more than what they had, and not give up anything that they were comfortable not giving up. At the end of the day,
Apparently, the Trailblazers, they were like, I want Jimmy or I want Bam Adebayo. And they were like, no.
that defeats the purpose of trading for Dame.
So no, I think the Heat are going to be okay. I think you just call up the Trailblazers and be like, hey, sorry about the Dame stuff. We need Drew though. Let's talk about it. Maybe you can unload Kyle Lowry, throw Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson. You can get Drew with those picks and stuff.
Yeah,
that'd be good because again, that defense would be crazy. The switchability top to bottom, 1 through 5 would be nasty. So
yeah. And I love for the Bucks, and I mean for the Blazers too. You got Aiden, who maybe, I don't know. I mean, I know I was gonna say maybe a change of scenery would help DeAndre Aiden now, but I don't know if that is the problem with him. But nonetheless, a change of scenery, it does help. It gets you a different perspective, get away from the the negativity that was there in Phoenix, and maybe he can be a solid big for them.
Oh yeah, the Suns though, man,
Lots of depth, and that's what they needed.
oh 100%. They got a good amount of depth. Now they have decisions to make because again, this team now has 19 players, and by the end of training camp, you have to have 15.
Right.
So 4 people got to go.
Yep.
And it's kind of tough because again, a lot of the guys you brought in, you see on this roster because they either are good at handling the ball, play good off the ball, or are really good shooters. So it's like you really want everybody on the roster. So this training camp's going to be heated. It's going to be guys literally fighting for their lives on this team. And not to break the news to nobody, but Bobo, have fun in China, buddy. It's about to be wraps for you.
Think so, or so.
I know so. There's no way they keep him after what they just got back.
Yeah, so it's tough, but at the same time, it's exciting. We're waiting for the Dame trade to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen until the deadline.
Oh no! Once a week ago when the Trailblazers came out that we're making this trade before training camp, which they did it the day before.
Yeah.
So hey, they kept the promise, and again, they did right by Dame. They did right by him. They could very much could have sent him to the Hornets for a king's ransom, but they did not do that. So they did right by him, by their franchise best player. So hats off to the Trailblazers. You did your due diligence.
Yeah, for sure. And I think at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. So yeah, and we'll see what happens in the NBA as far as the rest of that's concerned.
Yeah.
So it'll be exciting to see. Really quick, Makai, before we kind of call it a day here, wrap it up with some week 4 picks in the NFL.
Let's do it.
Let's do it real quick. So week 4, currently starting with Thursday Night Football, the Lions are up 14-3 on the Packers.
Damn.
So I don't know if you want to make that pick now.
Let's skip that game.
I was going to pick the Lions initially. You know this. I'm very much on the Lions bandwagon. So we will skip that. And let's go to week 4. After Lions and Packers, we have... Just loads. Let's start off with the Falcons and the Jaguars. That game's going to be in London.
The Boo Boo Bowl.
Take the Jaguars.
Give me the Jaguars. Desmond Ridder stinks.
Yeah, exactly. This game at 12, although really you could argue it to be in the primetime slot, especially because the Bills not the Bills. They originally had Denver and Chicago.
In prime time?
Yeah.
Here
But
we
they took care of that. Bills Dolphins is the game.
I just want to say real quick, that's got to be so deflating in like both locker rooms. Like, man, hey, my mama's gonna get to watch me back at home, and then they sub your game out
For a noon kickoff. Yeah, that's tough.
I want to play off your pick. Who you going?
I'm going with the Dolphins. Yeah, give me Miami.
Fuck it, give me the Dolphins.
Okay. Battle of 0-3 teams: Vikings and the Panthers.
Panthers.
I will go with the Panthers as well. I think Bryce Young will come back and get his first win.
We want to see the Vikings kind of. It'd be fun. It'd just be fun. Somebody's got to do it. It'd be.
I
want to
see somebody trade for Kirk Cousins and make it interesting.
It'd be fun.
I'm all for it. Broncos Bears.
I think Justin Fields has a career best day.
Really?
Yeah. Proves the doubters wrong and wins the Boo Boo Bowl.
I think Sean Payton and Russell Wilson will get their first win together Sunday. I'll take the Broncos. All right, up next, Ravens at Cleveland.
Man, that Cleveland defense though, only 21 first downs allowed through 3 games.
It's scary good. Their front four is impressive. Denzel Ward's playing real good football too at corner.
You got Myles Garrett doing crossover step back hezzies on offensive linemen. It's disgusting.
I'd be terrified too if I saw that.
Circling like a great white. I can't pick the Browns. You go first again. Go first.
Give me the Ravens.
Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, give me the Ravens. Steelers at Houston taking on the Texans.
Oh, Steelers.
Take the Steelers as well. Rams at the Colts.
No, Colts. I'm gonna think about Colts.
Colts.
Anthony Richardson's back. They gonna run that ball.
I'll take the Colts as well in that game. Commanders at Philadelphia taking on the Eagles.
I think the Eagles have shown some susceptibility.
They have.
I think if the Bucs could have got a stop here or there, I think that game could have been really close to the end of it.
I'll take the Commanders.
Sam's got to show me something because those 4 interceptions were.
He had a rough week last week. Yeah, he did.
Against the Bills.
He had a rough week. Very rough week. So give me the Commanders to kind of, and I mean last year they did this too, right? It wasn't Philly undefeated, and then
they came
in the Commanders that knocked him out. So
because of Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah. So give me the Commanders.
Not Dexter Lawrence. I'm wrong team. Give me the Commanders. Yeah, the Eagles got to lose something, and they showed me some weaknesses. So yeah, give me the Commanders.
Saints hosting the Bucks. Probably. Maybe no Derek Carr. Maybe not.
Baker Mayfield.
I'll take the Saints. Didn't
even say the fucking Bucks name.
Bengals at Tennessee.
Give me the Titans. I want to see the world burn. I want to see T. Higgins get flipped.
You want to see Ryan Tannehill win a football game?
Not really, but I don't want to see the Bengals win. I want to see some team burn down to the ground.
Okay, that's the Bengals are the closest to that.
Bengals or Vikings? It's gonna be one of them.
Yeah, I'll take the Bengals. They'll get it. They'll get back to 500 this week. All right, up next. Actually, it might be the Chargers that fall. That might be the team. Raiders at SoFi taking on the Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah, having said that about watching a team burn, give me the Raiders. I need to see Brandon Staley get fired before the.
No, we want to watch the Raiders burn because then Devontae, we get to see a Pro Bowl.
Oh, Devontae Adams could be on the market.
Could be. He will be Monday morning because Herbie's about to go stupid.
Okay, you swayed me with that vote. Give me the Chargers. Patriots at Dallas. The Zeke Elliott revenge game.
Oh yeah, it's a big fuck Mac Jones on this podcast. So.
Oh yeah, after what he did to Sauce,
he's so
he gets away with it too.
He needs his ass whooped. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
Give me the Cowboys.
Give me the Cowboys as well. I think New England, they just haven't figured it all out yet. Cardinals at Santa Clara taking on the 49ers.
Give me the Cardinals, man.
Ooh.
Fuck it.
Another upset this week for them?
They're playing good ball. Josh Dobbs isn't turning the ball over besides the first game. So,
Yeah.
they're running the ball really well, and
Yeah.
fuck Brock Purdy.
Okay. I'll take the Niners. I think they're the better team. They should win this game, but Arizona has proven that doesn't work all the time. Sunday Night Football. The Swifties and the Chiefs travel to MetLife to take on the Jets.
I mean, it's not even really, because it's like you start a guy you picked up this week, or you start Zach Wilson, who's the worst quarterback in the NFL, damn near in history. There's nothing to think about. And Taylor Swift's going to be at the game again.
Yep.
Roll Chiefs.
Chiefs should handle this game pretty confidently.
Hey,
they have no reason not to.
This might. I'll take that back. That Jets defense is for real. But I was gonna jokingly say this could be the game they break the NFL scoring record.
Nah, the Jets will defense. They won't let that happen. And then Monday Night Football to wrap things up. The Seahawks travel to MetLife taking on the Giants. They should have Saquon Barkley back.
Damn. A game I'm not gonna watch because that stinks. Give me the Seahawks.
I'll take the Giants in this game. I think having Saquon back will help out quite a bit, and they might pull one off at home.
That's fair.
That's fair, and that's how we do things here. Fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
No bias whatsoever.
Sometimes you gotta navigate that gray area. Sometimes.
Any last notes here, Makai, before we sign off your call today?
Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
No.
Brush your hair, brush your teeth, and regardless of what the Bucks did, Mavs in 4.
That's a bold statement right there.
Kyrie.
That's gonna wrap things up here, folks. From Alec, Makai, Kenneth behind the camera doing wonderful things. This has been the final drive, and we're signing off. See you guys next week.